Ericsson is the world's largest manufacturer of telecoms equipment and is now at the vanguard of providing the next generation of networks for the digital community. I have Hans Vestberg with me, Chief Executive of the group, to talk about the connected world. Mr. Vestberg, first of all, can you tell me about how your customers' needs are changing?
What we see right now is a transformation of our customer base. I mean, if we talk about the carriers, the operators in the world, which is the main customers of Ericsson, they are starting to see so many opportunities because of the data world. I mean, suddenly you can offer so many new services. You can go into the finance sector, to the car industry, the Internet of Things. So of course what we see is a segmentation of our customers, and what we are doing here at Mobile World Congress, of course, is seeing how we can be relevant in that transformation, where different carriers will take different type of decisions. We do everything from the infrastructure that is needed for everyone, to the IT that has to be transformed, to TV and media solutions, to the IP and the cloud virtualization that is needed in some cases. So we're really working with that, and that's what I'm seeing also our customer wants to discuss, the strategic choices they are taking to be relevant in this digitalized world, which we call the network society, and we are doing the same. We're taking a lot of choices where we want to play in order to be relevant in the future.
So is the market all about provision of data these days? How do you see the consumption of data progressing in the next 5 years?
I see the growth, of course, being quite tremendous on data going in the next 5 years, but we need to realize that the speed of the change in the next 5 years is just going to be tremendous. I mean, still the majority of the people on Earth has a 2G phone and a feature phone. I mean, if we look to 2020, it's going to be 8.5 billion mobile broadband subscriptions in the world. That means we're almost going to have 3 times as many people on this Earth having access to internet the next 5 years. It's just a tremendous change. So of course, it's going to be a lot of data. But then you see also the Internet of Things happening, because you can use the mobility, the broadband, and the cloud to transform. And don't then forget that the connected device is great, but when you connect the devices to a system, then you really get the big benefits, like one connected car, and you connect them together and you have a transport system that is transformed.
Can you give me some practical examples of how the Internet of Things is changing life?
We are connecting all the cars and everything that is moving in the traffic environment, and we display all that big data for the road authorities so they can actually tell safety, security, how they can avoid traffic jams, etc. So suddenly you can do things we never thought about it before, because that has an impact on CO2 emission, more sustainable cities, that type of things. However, we have clearly very much around predictability about network usage, how we can support operators to have customers very happy. We can predict in advance where sort of the blocks in the network going to be, and what apps are important to optimize. And that we can do predictability in advance, both for the networks, but also for marketing. So we use all this data to actually do a better consumer experience of Ireland.
5G has been a major talking point of Mobile World Congress this year. What does Ericsson think 5G is, and why are there so many different opinions about what it could be?
If I look into 5G, I think we have a pretty clear view on what 5G is going to be. It's the requirement is 100 times faster speed, 1,000 times more data throughput. The latency has to go down 5 to 10 times. The battery lifetimes at least 10 times. So why do we need all that in 5G? Because thinking in 5G, you're going to have so many different use cases. You're going to have an auto-steered car, an autonomous car, has to have extremely low latency in order to be able to steer it. At the same time, you're going to have a rural areas, you're going to have fertilizers or sensors with fertilizers in the agriculture that's going to be outside the power grid, and you need to send a very weak signal, so the battery on the sensor can only be changed every 10th year. That's two different use cases, and that's what we're going to create in 5G in order to get all the benefits in our society, both for people, businesses, and the society at large. So I see the 5G being extremely important from that point of view, because I strongly believe that the 5G and the mobility, broadband and cloud, that's the 21st century infrastructure. We need roads, we need hospitals, we need education, but we definitely need the ICT to transform our planet and make it more sustainable.
Thank you, Mr. Vestberg.